Evan Fournier has called out Tom Thibodeau. What does that mean? Could a trade be coming for the sharp shooting guard for the New York Knicks? We're going to break that down in today's show. You're watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. And Evan Fournier, in an interview with Jan Onhanan, I know I'm mispronouncing that. I apologize, from the publication, the El Equipe. I also know I'm mispronouncing that as well. Just wanted to get that out there and give them the credit they deserve. They had a sit-down interview with Evan Fournier, and he did not have the nicest things to say about Thibodeau. Quote, he said this: "You want to spit on everyone. You have hatred. Derrick Rose and I looked at each other and said to each other, what the hell are we doing here?" During the 5-on-5 practice, we were on the side like some prospects. Uncool times. And when I realized that wouldn't change, I took things more slowly. Uncool times. And when I realized that wouldn't change, I took things more slowly. And I know that some people were calling for Evan Fournier to play in that Miami Heat series. They wanted him to play a little bit against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I truly believe that Tom Thibodeau made the right move to bench Evan Fournier, 14 games into the regular season. Why? Because he was not producing. And we will show you those stats in just a quick second. Fournier was also asked about the relationship with Thibodeau and said, "I have nothing to say because I don't have one. When he took me out of the starting five, he just told me he was going to try something else. Then at the first match of a road trip, he announced to me that I was leaving the rotation, and ciao." Look, Evan Fournier, I think it's pretty simple in this situation. If you don't produce, you don't play. And that goes for anybody in the NBA. It happened for Cam Reddish. He wasn't producing. He didn't play. Evan Fournier, you weren't producing, so you didn't play. How do I know you weren't producing? Because I went back and looked at the stats of the first 13 games of the season when Evan Fournier was getting minutes and he wasn't producing. Before he got benched, there was 13 games that he either started or got significant minutes in. And he averaged 6.9 points per game, 1.7 assists, 34% from the field, and as a three-point shooter, a three-point specialist, a guy that shot 39% from deep the prior season, he shot 33% from downtown. If you don't defend and you don't knock down threes when you're a three-point specialist, why would Tom Thibodeau put you on the court consistently? It makes no sense. And it really stinks for Evan Fournier because in his first year in 2021 and 2022, he was one of the best shooting players in the NBA, knocking down the 3 to 39% clip and getting up 7.7 threes per night. That's one of the best in the NBA. He also gave you 14 points, but it completely fell off the following season. Was that because of a lack of confidence? He wasn't in a rhythm. That could all be a reason why, but he played significant minutes in those first 13 games, and he wasn't good in those games. And I'm going to twist it this way. I feel like Evan Fournier let the New York Knicks down this season. Why do I feel like that? Because the Knicks needed another guy that could knock down a three, that they could run a set for on the offensive end, come off a couple of screens, off a down screen, catch and shoot a three and let it fly and get hot. The Knicks needed another guy that could consistently knock down the three-point shot. And Evan Fournier was supposed to be that guy. We paid him $18 million this year, but he was unable to be effective for the New York Knicks. The Knicks this past year, during the regular season, shot 34.7% from downtown, which ranks 24th in the NBA. They also shot just 29.2% from three in the postseason, which was the worst of all 16 teams that make the postseason. What about if you had a guy like Evan Fournier that knocked down the three at a 39% clip and almost got up 8 threes per night? That would have helped the New York Knicks. But since Fournier started the season not playing defense and not knocking down the three, he found himself out of the rotation. So nobody has anyone to blame but yourself, Evan Fournier. You weren't knocking down shots. You weren't contributing. You weren't making this team better. And on top of that, the Knicks had young guys that have a higher ceiling than you that needed to get minutes so the Knicks could figure out the direction they wanted to take. They had to get Quentin Grimes into that starting lineup. They wanted Emmanuel quickly to get minutes. And good thing they did because he ended up finishing second in the Sixth Man of the Year. We also wanted to see Cam Reddish get minutes because we gave up a first-round draft pick for him. It didn't work out, and the Knicks moved off of him and were able to get Josh Hart in that exchange. So I think sitting Evan Fournier was more than justified from Tom Thibodeau. I don't understand where Evan Fournier is coming from. He also said this: if you want to trade me with a good return, why didn't you use me? I was coming out of a season where I was the fourth best three-point shooter in the league. Why not take advantage of it? Now they won't get anything interesting, and that's normal because I couldn't show anything on the court. And I would have liked the Knicks to trade Evan Fournier last offseason. We talked about that time and time again on this channel, but they were unable to get it done. They were unable to find a trade partner. And right now, the Knicks are in no rush to trade Evan Fournier. He has an expiring $18 million salary, and unless they are able to get back a trade exception in that trade, I could see the Knicks holding out on a Fournier move. Why? Because that expiring $18 million is going to be very valuable in a trade if the Knicks do decide to pull a trigger on trading for a superstar. Because superstars in the NBA, they make a whole lot of money. And to make a trade happen in the NBA, you got to match salary. And Evan Fournier's $18 million will give the Knicks the ability to match that salary without giving up a really valuable player. So the Knicks are in no rush to move off of Fournier. We heard those rumors that they were in the three-team trade talks with the Phoenix Suns, where Cam Payne was going to come to the New York Knicks, and the Indiana Pacers were going to get Evan Fournier, and McConnell was going to go from Indy to Phoenix. But that trade fell through as Cam Payne was just moved by the Phoenix Suns. So maybe they look somewhere else in a Fournier trade. We actually have some more quotes from Fournier about a team that he would like to play for. But first, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/KnicksTV, because if the Knicks trade Evan Fournier or any more news and rumors come out about the Knicks, we're going to subscribe. We need 25 subscribers on today's video, so hit that sub button. Sub for Knicks Dubs. And make sure you guys are also hooked up by supporting the team and supporting the brand of Chat Sports. Go to chatsports.com/RealKnicks. Get your black, brand new Knicks Real One t-shirt. And if you didn't get the t-shirt from last summer, get yours today, the OG Blue. And you could save yourself 20% off if you use the promo code SummerVibes20. So go to chatsports.com/RealKnicks. Use the promo code SummerVibes20. All righty, so Evan Fournier doesn't want to be here anymore. He pretty much requested a trade in that interview. He said Tom Thibodeau is a terrible person, but he's also saying now that he wants to go play for the San Antonio Spurs. Evan, if you think after you talk noise about Tom Thibodeau that the Knicks are going to do you any favors, you might need a little bit of a wake-up call, my man. Fournier also said this: I want a spot where I can have fun again, where I can be myself. Would their game be more suited to me? It's not the Spurs of 2014 anymore, but playing for Greg Popovich, learning from him, it would be a pleasure and an honor for sure. Afterward, being with Victor Wembanyama, looking at the upcoming Paris Olympics, being able to start connecting on the court, that would be great. As we all know, Evan Fournier is a part of the French national team. Victor Wembanyama will one day be a part of that team, and they probably have a relationship as they are both some of the very few Frenchmen to play in the NBA. So what would a trade look like if the Spurs and Knicks were able to get a deal done that sent Fournier from New York to San Antonio, Texas? I went into the trade simulator. I tried to find out what salaries would match, and this was the best that I could come up with. It would be Doug McDermott coming to the New York Knicks, Evan Fournier and 2 second-round picks going to San Antonio. Doug McDermott's on an expiring about $13.5 million deal. So maybe they look to make a trade like this happen. And I think it would be a good deal for the Knicks because he gives you kind of what Fournier did, but more at a reliant clip. And just he's more of a winning basketball player, especially in the NBA, is Dougie McBuckets. I mean, in the last 4 years, he's only shot below 41% from downtown one time. I mean, in 2019, the kid shot 43.5% from deep. Last year, 41.3% from deep. And the year before that, 42.2% from downtown. The question that I have, though, is where is Doug McDermott going to play on this roster? If Evan Fournier couldn't get minutes, where is Doug McDermott going to get minutes? So I'll ask you the question. Would you make this trade? Or would you hold out and see if you can make a bigger deal happen, maybe a blockbuster deal happen, with Evan Fournier as a matching salary? I want to hear from you right now in the comments section. Would you make this trade? Type A for accept, type D for decline. I want to know if you want to bring Dougie McDermott back to Madison Square Garden. I would say no to this trade offer, and it's not because I don't think the value is fair. It's not because I don't think that Evan Fournier wouldn't be a good fit for the New York Knicks. It's the fact that I don't want to just have to add assets to Evan Fournier to just get off his money. And number two, where exactly is Doug McDermott going to play for the New York Knicks? If this is the team that the Knicks are rocking with when game 1 of 82 rolls around, you got your backup point guard in Emmanuel Quickley. You have your backup 2 guard in Dante DiVincenzo. You have your backup small forward in Josh Hart. We know that Isaiah Roby may play a little backup 4. We know Josh Hart may play a little backup 4, and I would not be surprised if RJ Barrett played a little backup 4. And you got Isaiah Hartenstein and Jericho Sims as your backup center. So I don't know if I would do this trade because I'm holding out hope that the Knicks could use that expiring deal from Evan Fournier in a deal for a superstar coming down the pipeline. As always, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for tuning into Knicks Now by Chat Sports. Remember, subscribe to the channel and get Knicks videos every single day on the latest news and rumors.